Sonic the Hedgehog series has been going strong for 30 years now. It's had, since then, its high points, its low points, especially a lot of low points. But it's had some great stories in that time. And although Sega might not do it anymore, they used to make pretty dark stories for him. Particularly in the early 2000s, because that was the trend of the time. And as you can see in current day, they no longer make any stories like that. They're all pretty bad or just boring at best. But I want to talk about a specific Sonic plot from Sonic Adventure 2. Specifically, the hero side story. Most people absolutely love this game, and the plot's extremely memorable, especially for a Sonic game. And I agree. I absolutely love this game, and I remember playing it all the time as a kid, and this plot is one that stuck with me out of all the games I played as a kid. It's very different from anything that Sonic has as a series, but it still makes a lot of mistakes. This is due to the game being rushed, so a lot of things had to be pushed out the door, and they couldn't put as much stuff in the game as they would want. But that makes the game, in my opinion, even better, because the plot makes, no sense. Because you just have things that are happening. Like big set pieces they wanted to have, but couldn't put things in there to make them make sense. So I just kind of want to go over that plot and talk to you about it because it's great and I think more people should know about it. Before we get into the video in full though, I just want to take a moment to say, if you like the video, consider liking and subscribing. Also, I have a Twitch channel as well if you'd like to go watch me over there. Link will be in the description. Now on to the video. Sonic begins this game aboard a helicopter in military custody. Unfortunately for the people aboard this helicopter, Sonic woke up on the wrong side of the bed today and chose violence. So, of course, being the good guy, Sonic has to escape from military custody, but not before ripping a piece of the helicopter off and actually making it crash. The people aboard that craft didn't really matter anyways. Their families don't matter. They imprisoned an innocent person. So being that they imprisoned the great and mighty Sonic the Hedgehog, they must be punished. So Sonic goes on a rampage throughout the town, destroying millions of dollars worth of property, military and civilian alike, causing many casualties, and not caring whatsoever. This probably is the reason he's in military custody, if we're all honest here. Once Sonic eventually evades the military, he runs into his doppelganger. This doppelganger is oddly edgy and into Hot Topic. This is one of the two new characters in this game, Shadow the Hedgehog. But none of that matters right now, as Sonic begins to battle the other Hedgehog. And Shadow, proving that he's an alpha gamer, flexes on Sonic so hard that Sonic doesn't even have a chance to respond. And Shadow doesn't even give him a chance to respawn before leaving. At this point, the military finally catches up to Sonic just to capture him once again. And you may think Sonic's gonna run again, but no, he's gonna go with them, because for some reason, he thinks that will lead him to Shadow. After all of this, we finally cut to Knuckles. And Knuckles is having a heated debate with an e-girl, one of our new characters, Rouge the Bat. And this heated debate is over Knuckles giving the Master Emerald to her, because she's a lady and she deserves it. But before Knuckles even has a chance to simp, Eggman shows up to try and take the Master Emerald. And Knuckles, being as smart as he is, realizes that if Master Emerald's broken, then no one can have it. So he shatters it into a million pieces. This really must be where our new modern dumb Knuckles started. So now, to restore the Master Emerald, Knuckles must go search for all the emerald pieces. I would say he needs to return to Angel Island, but it wasn't there to begin with in this game, so I guess it's just fallen out of the sky? This is the point in the series where Angel Island basically no longer exists for Knuckles, and he has nothing to do for the rest of the series. It's great. And now we cut to our third and final character for Hero Story, Tails. Tails starts his story on his way to save Sonic from, yes, I shit you not, this is the name, Prison Island. The name's a bit on the nose, but I guess it fits. On his way there, he runs into Amy, along with Eggman and his crew, and decides to save her. This is the first of two incidents where Eggman almost literally kills Amy in this game. After defeating Eggman, Tails continues his way onto Prison Island to go help Sonic, only to be cucked by Amy, who ends up saving Sonic anyways by basically doing nothing, and Tails never even shows up there to help him. Wonderful. It kind of makes you wonder why we even played that stage to begin with if it was basically worthless, because I mean, he never ends up at the place Sonic is, and that's like the whole point of the stage. But anyways, moving on from the existential crisis that is Tails and his story, we move back to Sonic. Leaving behind his new accomplice, Sonic decides to escape the military base. And yes, that's correct, he just leaves Amy there, even though she's an accomplice to his supposed crimes now, and she has no way to defend herself in this game. Are we sure that Sonic's not a criminal? After running around on the island for a while, Sonic eventually runs into that fake hedgehog again of all places. And Sonic does indeed confirm he has found him. They then decided to have what I can only assume is a play fight, because afterwards they're only winded and there's absolutely no injuries whatsoever. Just to remind you, Shadow can quite literally blow people up with the Chaos Emerald he has. Incredible. And he somehow inflicted no damage on Sonic. But anyways, Sonic overhears Eggman contacting Shadow on his walkie-talkie to tell him that the islands are about to blow up like Mount Krakatoa. And everyone on the island basically has 10 minutes to get off of it. And I do mean everyone. That includes the people in the military base, even though they don't have any warning because no one decides they should probably tell them. They all just kind of leave the island because they're the main characters and that's all that matters. I gotta say, the death count in this game is quite high compared to anything modern. But they don't give you too much time to mourn over the loss of human life because we cut back to Knuckles. Conveniently enough, Knuckles is in Pumpkin Hill, where they have ghosts and graveyards, which I think they're going to need pretty soon after the whole Prison Island incident. And here, Knuckles desecrates some graves so he can find some Master Emerald pieces and continue along his way. It's also where we get this absolute bop of a song.
You ready? I ain't gon' let it get to me. I'm just gon' creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet.
But this doesn't last too long before we're right back to our main cast of Sonic, Tails, and Amy. And now they're in the city to figure out what they should do next. This is where they witness Eggman pissing on the moon, along with his great speech. Probably one of the greatest speeches he's ever given. Running out of time, they decide they need to figure out where Eggman is, and the Chaos Emeralds, because they know his super laser piss must be powered by them. So while Tails goes off to search for the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic plays anarchist by fighting off the government and local police for no apparent reason because they could just run from them. Even more bodies for the death count. Quick note here, it takes Tails actual days to search for these things and not even find them. This whole time, Sonic's supposedly holding off the military and local police. I can only imagine the amount of damage he caused in that time. All while this is happening, Knuckles digs a little too far looking for emeralds and ends up in the sewer, finding more Master Sword Emerald pieces down there for some reason. He also just feels like playing with some people's plumbing for some reason, and does not fix it, just kinda leaves. And this is finally where their two paths meet. Coming out of the sewers, he ends up in front of Tails and Amy. This is where Amy berates Knuckles for thinking about simping to Rouge, and not her. And, worst of all, not helping to stop Eggman. Even though he kind of did by stopping him from getting the Master Emerald, but we're gonna look past that. Tails finds a transmission coming from Eggman to the president in his limo, and decides to chase the president's limo to jump in and trace the signal. I also want to point out here, once Tails catches up to them, he jumps out of his fucking car and leaves it unmanned while he does this. And of course, Tails is able to find Eggman due to the fact that he is not using a VPN. No, this is not a segue into a sponsor. Fuck my life. After taking the president's copy of Minecraft, they leave. This is where our heroes learn that Eggman has been in the space colony arc this whole time. And yes,
they did not realize he was in space, even though they saw where the laser came from and the moon blowing up. And that wasn't even something they saw on TV. They saw that in real life. Sonic is not very observant, even if he does have a giant mutant eye. Continuing on, they realize they need to find a way to space. So, of course, Eggman must have a way to space because he's there. So they head to his base, his hidden base, that they somehow know where it is without tracking it. They've been working on tracking him this whole time, but somehow know where his hidden base is now. Plot. Once there, they realize they can't just walk in, because obviously Eggman doesn't want people just walking into his base, because it's in the pyramids. There's people there all the time, so he's locked that bitch up tight. The only person for the job to find keys is, of course, Knuckles. So Knuckles goes and risks his life for some keys, so that they can finally make their way in. But not only that, remember those graves he desecrated? Yeah, those ghosts, they're back, and they're back for revenge. But not only them, the king of ghosts is here. Yes, I'm completely serious, this is a boss. So Knuckles beats him to death, again, with his bare fucking hands. Once they're finally in the base and all the way through past the dangers, they run into the big man himself, Eggman. And Eggman, he talks a big game, but he ain't trying to catch no hens. So he sends a giant stone golem after them. And just like Eggman, he's kind of a bitch. Sonic kinda lightly bonks him on the head and he goes down. But none of that really matters because they could have just walked out from what it looks like because they're not trapped and they leave right afterward. They don't break any doors or unlock anything. They just kind of leave. Deeper in the pyramid, they find an ancient Egyptian space shuttle because the Egyptians definitely had help from aliens to make it. For some reason, it's in the pyramid and the pyramid's actually prepared to let it launch. It's not just stored there. You may think this is Eggman's shuttle, but no, I would tell you you're wrong, because he has a teleporter that takes him straight to the Ark. So no, the Egyptians more than likely made this. Incredible. So once they're in space, Sonic has to of course give Knuckles one more stage, so he releases all of the Master Emerald swords that were for some reason held in storage, and not in Knuckles' magical pocket like he always does, but yes, they were in storage, so he lets them all out. I would say this is a based move, but in reality, it's a dick move because he made us play Meteor Herd. What a fucking asshole. After Knuckles finds his emerald pieces in Meteor Herd, he has his final encounter with the E-Girl. And since Knuckles was able to prove he's an Omega Chad to her, she gives him the remaining emerald pieces. Now we cut to the Space Colony arc with our favorite boys, Sonic and Tails. This is where Tails reveals he has a fake Chaos Emerald to put in place of the real one so that they can explode the super laser piss cannon. And Sonic heads off to slam dunk that fake Chaos Emerald right in. I know you're thinking he could have just given it to Eggman and acted like he was giving up, just like he wanted. That would be a lot easier, you would think, if it was a passable emerald like Tails says. But no, he has to be cool and do it himself. But before he can do that, Amy is captured and Tails goes to help her, but Eggman pulls out a Glock on her. He forces Sonic to come back from his mission without putting in the Chaos Emerald and demands the Emerald be given to him. Even in this situation though, Sonic roasts Eggman for some reason, even though this is a life or death situation for Amy. I guess he really doesn't care about her. Eggman demands he places it in the middle of the room, but once he goes to place it down, Sonic's sealed in an Amazon 2-day shipping package. And this is where Sonic gives a heartfelt goodbye, because this is the end of his game series. This is the end. Eggman wins. It's finally over. We'll no longer have to play any of these games. And then he's sent into space, and the game ends. Of course that's not fucking true. Are you stupid? We have Sonic Forces to look forward to. And I know you're looking forward to it. Being angry as he should be, Tails attempts to murder Eggman in cold blood because he killed Sonic. I hope you like this, because this is the last time we'll see Tails ever act brave. Now we get to watch Sonic's final moments, or what he thinks are going to be his final moments. And instead of doing that, he uses his immense amount of plot armor to pull some voodoo bullshit and teleport back to the Ark. There, he appears in front of Knuckles, who's also confused, but he has no time to explain, and tells him to go take care of the others. I guess Knuckles must also be able to breathe in space, because he got from where he was to where the Ark is, and that doesn't really make any sense otherwise, so we'll go with it. And now Sonic races towards the Super Laser Piss Cannon before running into Shadow and having another fight with him to prove who's the alpha gamer. Another thing I want to point out here is that Shadow uses Chaos Control in this fight, which allows him to teleport, which, should have allowed him to win, if we're all honest. But even beyond that, he needs a Chaos Emerald to do that. And all of the Chaos Emeralds that they have are in the fucking cannon. So how is he doing it? I guess he must be cheating. But I guess that fits for his character. But even through all of that, Sonic overcomes him and slam dunks the Chaos Emerald in. And not only that, climbs up the end of the cannon just to have a cool shot when he calls Tails and Amy to let them know he's alive. So he can give them a thumbs up from space, letting them know the mission's done. Though I'm not really sure about that, because Eggman puts in the real Chaos Emerald and the cannon still works anyways, even though he doesn't get a chance to use it. So, that's the fucked up story of this game. While entertaining, doesn't make any fucking sense. And I think we need more games like it. Games where you don't really have to pay attention, but you can still laugh, and even if you really pay attention, then you can have an even better laugh. Sonic stories now are just bland, uninteresting, and honestly not even that funny. So, hopefully they can learn from the stories of this, because while they were a bit darker, they were still pretty good for what they were. Even if they had a lot of plot holes and whatnot, they were fun to run through and actually give you a reason to keep playing the game. And don't take this video as me saying that this game sucks, this game's story sucks. I love it. This is one of my favorite games, one of my favorite Sonic games too. But with all of that said, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, maybe had a laugh, maybe even want to play this game now. I highly suggest it. It's pretty cheap, it's on Steam, it doesn't take a lot to play. And if you made it this far, consider checking out another video of mine, or wait till the next one comes out, and I'll see you there.